How's it going, everybody? This is Camwise the Hobbit here for part one of our playthrough of the Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth. This is an RTS real-time strategy game based on the Lord of the Rings movies. It follows through basically everything that happens in the movies. Goes through a lot of the battles and some other things that would have been happening, just aren't shown. So in this game, let me back up. There's a lot of different things that you can do. I'm going to go kind of with just one option. We're going to do solo play. There is, or at least was, a multiplayer option. I've never tried it. This game came out in 2004, 22 years ago. I'm doubting that still works. Maybe if I do enough and have some time, I can try that out and see if there's an option for it. I kind of don't think there is. So solo play. There is a campaign and a skirmish. Skirmish is just one little quick off battle that you can kind of set how you want. We're going to stick with the campaign. You can do a good or an evil campaign. I've done the good campaign so many times, and that's what we're going to do on this playthrough. But the evil campaign would be fun. Again, if I've got some time and I'm going to come back to this game, I might try that evil campaign. I've started it a couple times. I don't know. I always have a hard time playing evil things. So we're going to stick with an easy difficulty. I want to get through this game fairly quickly. I got 21. I think there were 22 games total. 21 other games to play. So we're going to stick with easy to get through it a little bit quicker. And we'll get right into it. I picked this game up probably back in 2007, 2008. At a Half Price Books, favorite store of all time. In the discount section, it was $3. Absolutely loved it. Wasn't even a huge Lord of the Rings fan at that point. I think I had watched the movies. I may not have. I didn't watch them right when they were coming out. So in this game, you're gonna see some stuff that doesn't look great. The graphics are rough in today's standard, especially. But I think even back then, graphics were not fantastic. I do like the map, though. There's some really interesting things that you can go through and see. But we're going to go ahead and jump right in. It's going to go through a little bit of an intro.
Mordor is the land of the Dark Lord Sauron.
With a lot of the
He has
voice,
dominion over this bleak and wasted landscape and all who enter it.
voice acting done by the movie cast. See all the different
Sauron
armies we'll
wages
use.
war with all of Middle-earth. He must be stopped, or all shall fall into darkness.
I do like all the different locations shown in the map.
The hobbit Frodo Baggins now bears the ring, guarded by a fellowship drawn from all the free peoples of Middle-earth. The One Ring must be returned to Mount Doom and destroyed in the very fires of its creation.
So as we play through the game, we'll have different armies that we can use in these kind of blue glowing things. But then you can also kind of look through the map. We see a lot of the areas we just went through. We'll go in and fight in a lot of those later. You can see some of the different areas. There won't really be anything to do with it, but they have a little location. Bree, the Shire over here. The physical version of this game had a map in it. And I had that on my wall for a while. But I've kind of upgraded to some better looking stuff since then. But again, love this game. Played it probably every
Mines of Moria,
few years.
once proud
since I
city
got
of the
it.
dwarves. Its ruined halls are now infested with vile goblins.
And this game picks up right after Rivendell. We leave with the Fellowship having been formed. We start off right here in the Mines of Moria. The Watcher in the Water has trapped us in. We've got to go through to get out. And again, the graphics they're pretty rough. That is something that the second game did better, but it only came out 2 years later. It's pretty rough to look at. But again, the graphics being what they are, the gameplay is still fantastic. At least for me, I love it. I don't really feel like this game gets a whole lot of credit. People aren't really talking about it. I don't see it blowing up
Call it a mine.
the way I feel like it should.
A mine!
This is no mine. It is a tomb.
And this
We
one,
have but
this
one
level's going to
choice.
be a little bit different. It's kind of
We
the,
must
you know, the
face the
tutorial.
darkness
You got all the
of
different
Moria.
heroes with some different abilities. You can select them individually. I'm just going to have them all selected and go through again. I'm going to try and get
Should
through
never
this
have
pretty
come
quickly.
here. Let us hope that our
That was one of the
presence
reasons I
may
started
go
off with this game.
unnoticed.
I feel like it's a fairly short game in the grand scheme of things, without a ton of extra hours that will put in. This thing will level us up. You can look here and see all the different objectives. You have the yellow ones are optional bonus objectives. The white ones have to happen. I'm not going to focus too much on those yellow ones, but I do want to get through this game without just a ton of time spent in it. Gonna focus primarily on just kind of getting through the main story
Things than orcs in the deep places of the world.
in order to have time to do all
Quiet! Goblins are close.
right now. I've actually got more time than I typically do. I'm a teacher. I teach middle school band in Texas. And so I'm on summer break right now. I've got plenty of time to be playing through some of these games, but that will change come August when I'm back in school. And again, there's so many games to get through. Even if I'm not able to find those two that are either on weird consoles or just not supported anymore. That online one, the Guardians of Middle Earth, I think is what it is. If I'm not able to find that, it'll be what it'll be. But that's little Sam. I don't feel like he gets. Ooh, and I can make the
A reward!
do some ranged attacks. I think that'll be better for them. They can stay a little further away and still do some damage. Hopefully the camera movement isn't
There is
too
evil
rough on
that
anybody.
does not sleep.
It's a lot of moving around.
Attack! More
No, it's not the
goblins!
smoothest, but hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, in this game you can control different things. As we go in later, we'll control the Gondor and the Rohan armies. So we'll use a lot of the Rohirrim and different archers and melee troops and mounted troops throughout a lot of
I
that
think
stuff.
I'm getting the hang of this.
This is
We should have made for the
definitely
Gap of
a
Rohan.
What was that? Keep quiet.
exception to what the game is really going to be, with just heroes being used. But it's a good intro to it, and you get to see all of the fellowship and have a good time with that. You can get some powers. You'll earn points to spend on these later. I'm going to go and get a heal, just in case any of my heroes start struggling a
Send
little
them
bit.
back to the abyss.
What is this?
Just went right into it. Which
Some
is
good
fine.
fortune for our fellowship.
Would have rather used that for one of the hobbits. They don't get as much, I feel like, experience. See, Gimli's already about to level up, but it's fine. I get it, just trying to get through this thing.
Quietly now.
Yeah, going back to kind of getting this game. Again, I got it
I have no memory of
2007,
this
2008.
place.
Came out in 04, so it was a few years after it came out. First Lord of the Rings movie came out in 2001. When I was 7? Yeah. So I did not become a fan when the movies
I've never
were out.
seen a creature like that.
I actually started off reading The Hobbit. I was in middle school. I want to say 8th grade. So that would have been 2008, I think, 2008.
We are with you, Aragorn.
And loved it. After I read The Hobbit, I watched the
What
Lord of
is
the Rings
this
movies.
place?
And loved them. Felt a little bad watching the movies before reading the books, but as much as I loved reading, I did not feel like I was really ready for that. And I feel like it was kind of fair. This is going to sound bad coming from it. Everyone just loved
Send them
it.
to their graves!
Whatever, it's fine. But I read The Fellowship of the Ring in high school, and it probably took me about a year. I
must keep
had a
moving.
really hard time getting into it. And then read Two Towers and Return of the King in college and read both of them in the same semester. I think it was literally my first semester of college. Loved those books. And having reread now Fellowship of the Ring, I love it just as much, but it was
Here
hard
lies Balin,
getting into.
son of Fundin, Lord of Moria.
Now, I'll watch the movies
He is dead then,
at least every year.
as I feared.
We must move. We cannot linger.
And then Tolkien wrote a lot more than just
Goblins.
those 4 that were published during his lifetime, The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. He passed away after those 4 books were published, but his son, Christopher Tolkien, went kind of right into his notes and his writings to publish the Silmarillion. That was the first one that was published after he died. And it was just based off of whatever Christopher could find of his notes. Tolkien spent his entire life essentially writing about this world that he had created Arda. And Christopher did just a fantastic job of taking all of those notes and scribbles and everything, compiling it, putting it together, translating some of it, and figuring out what was actually trying to be written. Really, without Christopher Tolkien, J.R.R. Tolkien wouldn't be what he is. He would have written 4 books, and that would have been it. And yes, those books would still have blown up and been huge, but Christopher's contribution to his father's work and legacy, which I really feel like cannot be overstated. It's incredible. He's also he designed the map, like the iconic Middle Earth map.
Is that a troll?
Was Christopher, which is crazy to think of. J.R.R. Tolkien did a lot of illustrations in a really unique style. Not anything hyper realistic. Nothing like what a lot of the kind of current illustrated editions of books have. But he did some illustration. It was really interesting. Seeing his kind of vision of the Shire is really cool. Yeah, after reading all 3 of the Lord of the Rings books, started reading some of the extended legendary Silmarillion. There's a 12-volume history of Middle Earth that is honestly, it's really hard to get through. I read the first 2 pretty quickly. For a while there, Tolkien was really all that I was reading. I have since expanded to other fantasy books. Really, and I kind of figured this out pretty early on in life. Fantasy is all I want to read, so it's all I do, read. But there's a lot of really good stuff that I haven't been reading because it wasn't Tolkien, it wasn't Lord of the Rings. Oh, that troll is slipping out. But having gotten some more of those, has been really good. I keep coming back to Tolkien every once in a while. There's a lot of really good ones. Children of Hurin is probably my favorite. It's really dark. Like it's a really dark story, but it's incredible. And is very much so a story. There's a beginning, there's an end. Helps. Because a lot of the stuff in that history is not, it's like a history book. Parts of it feel like a textbook. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does get a little bit more difficult to read. Christopher does a great job of explaining what he has found and how he has interpreted it and how he thinks his father meant it, because there's a lot of stuff that he wrote that he wrote in a few different ways. There's different versions of the same story, character, whatever. And so parts of that you can kind of, it's interesting. I went to a convention called Westmoot, the Tolkien Convention in North America, in the West, right? Went to that just at the start of summer. It was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. But there was a session about canon in Tolkien. You know, what is the actual truth of each thing in Tolkien's work. And it was a little open-ended. It was kind of,
I'll do what I can.
there isn't canon. It's
For
whatever
Uncle
you
Bilbo.
kind of think it should be. If there is a right option, that right option is unknown and died with the author. I don't know how long ago he passed away. And for Tolkien scholars, that concept of canon is, I'm sure, really important. For a just fan, I just want to enjoy it. And if I'm being honest, I don't always super care what is correct and what's not. If Tolkien wrote it, if they counts. One of the biggest, I think, examples of that is the mention of orcs. What is their origin? What are orcs? Then hobbits. He never actually explained what hobbits are or where they came from. It's super frustrating. But the orcs, there's different versions of what they are and where they came from. And
You have no
what's
place in
right,
this
what's
world.
wrong, what is canon. Who really cares? You know? I think there's a really interesting and really, honestly, sad version of their origin where orcs were elves in the Silmarillion. That is what orcs are. They are corrupted elves, which is awful. You know? Tolkien created these immortal, really beautiful, fair beings that got destroyed by an elf lord, Morgoth. I'll get into a little bit of the creation myth of Tolkien at some point. Probably not this game. This video's about to be over. I think I've got to finish killing this Balrog, who's halfway. But Morgoth is the big bad of Middle-earth, and he took these immortal, fair beings and essentially destroyed them. Not all of them, but the ones that he turned into orcs were twisted beyond recognition, twisted beyond saving, and they turned into a whole different race. And that race supposedly, you know, has its own culture, its own civilization. It can breed and create more of them. You know, looking at the honestly really cool scene in Peter Jackson's movie, Saruman creating Uruk-hai and digging them out of the ground.
Mines of Moria is no more.
A mix of
the
orcs
Balrog
and men,
Fellowship
which
continued
has a whole
their
lot of
perilous
uncomfortable
journey.
insinuation about it. How do you mix orcs and men? That's not good. But yeah, there's a whole lot of things that just aren't super well defined, and that's okay. So, finished that round, obviously victorious. Goes through a whole lot of different things at the end that I'll talk about, because I was kind of talking about orcs in a minute. So the battle statistics is just all the different things. The units trained, buildings constructed, resources collected, power points earned to get those extra abilities, enemy units destroyed, enemy buildings destroyed, and the time bonus. Obviously this was just the Fellowship, so I didn't train any units, I didn't build any buildings, didn't collect any resources, that's kind of the money in the game. Did earn some power points, good. Got a couple of special abilities, and got one, right here, Moria, +1 power, for being it. Destroyed a lot of enemy units. Got a multiplier for that for some reason. Don't really know why. It's fine. And then no enemy buildings because there weren't any. Bonus objectives, I did get all three, just kind of by playing. Hero veterancy, all of my heroes leveled up, so got 1,000 points for each of them. Units, there were none. Territory, there was none. It just got a power point. So total victory, did all the things, got the score. And then you go in and see the actual units. So this is all of the different heroes and how many they can, how many missions they've completed, enemies they've vanquished, campaign enemies, mission campaign, and then their current level. They're all either level 2 or level 3. Legolas completely dominating, 50 more than Aragorn right below him, and even Sam at the bottom got 3 because hey, and he's the first one I tried to level up. So that is the first level of Battle for Middle-earth. Hope y'all enjoyed. Did escape, and I'll keep going in this game soon with some different
As the
armies
shadow of
and troops.
Sauron moves across the land, Lord Eomer and his horsemen
some
must
stuff with the
defend the
Rohirrim.
villages of Rohan.
See address right there. But yeah, hope y'all enjoy this series. I'm looking forward to my next playthrough of Battle for Middle-earth, and hopefully everything goes all right. See y'all next time. Bye.